Hi everyone, welcome back to Beautiful British English. In today's lesson we're going to take a look at double negative sentences. Hello again. So we're taking a look today at what is known as a double negative. A double negative sentence. I cannot speak no English. I cannot speak no English. Okay. What is wrong with that sentence? I'm hoping you guys can spot the problem with that sentence. I cannot speak no English. Okay, so the problem here is this word here, no. Okay, because no is obviously a negative and also not is a negative. And when you want to create a negative sentence, generally 99% of the times you want to create a negative verb. Okay, so you concentrate on creating a negative verb by using the word not. So I cannot speak English is grammatically correct. Okay, the problem with what we call double negatives, in this instance here, I cannot speak no English, a double negative, if you are mathematically inclined and you understand double negatives in math, a double negative actually equals a positive. I cannot speak no English. That means I speak some English. Okay, so a double negative is wrong because it actually creates a positive meaning. Yeah, grammatically completely incorrect. So never write I cannot speak no English. Yeah, double negatives, completely wrong from a grammatical point of view, and definitely don't use them in your writing, don't use them in job interviews, don't use double negatives in some business English, okay? Don't use them in your IELTS. Yeah? But we can't just leave double negatives there because there's a lot more to talk about when it comes to double negatives. Because we have these things here called negative nouns. This is just a selection of negative nouns. Nowhere, nothing, and no one. Now, in a normal negative sentence, you are going to create a negative verb form. Okay, I cannot speak. Okay, but negative nouns are already negative. Okay, so if I write, let's say I'm not going nowhere. Okay, again we have a negative and a negative. I don't know nothing, negative and a negative. I'm not talking to no one, negative and a negative. So with these negative nouns here, we actually have to use, well, we have two options. We can actually create a positive sentence. So we're going to get rid of the negation here. I'm going nowhere. I know nothing. I'm talking to no one. So if we get rid of the negation at the beginning of our sentence, then these negative nouns are correct. But it's very easy for you guys to actually make the mistake of negating the verb and then adding one of these negative nouns. So I'm going to give you a little trick, a little way of making sure you don't make this mistake again, and it's going to use the word any. Okay, so with the word any, with a negative sentence, I'm not going nowhere, wrong. You're going to simply change the word no to any. I don't know nothing. I don't know anything. I'm not talking to no one. I'm not talking to anyone. Yeah. So if you do actually have a negative verb, yeah, you can use the word any. I cannot speak any English, and that is absolutely perfectly grammatically correct. Yeah. So, double negatives are tricky, and you have to sort of, you have to practice this. Now, another problem, okay, is this word here, ain't. and I'm pretty sure that you have heard this word used. This word here, ain't, is it's a contracted form, and it's also it's slang, I suppose, for I am not. I am not is ain't. I ain't. Yeah. The only problem with this is, obviously, it's a negative, but it's not a real word either. So it doesn't actually exist as a real word. It's purely slang. But you will actually hear people say phrases like this: I ain't done nothing. It ain't no good. Now, this is absolutely terrible English from a grammatical point of view, but purely from a way English is used by native speakers, this is actually very acceptable in spoken English. Yeah, amongst natives, I ain't done nothing, it ain't no good. We all understand automatically and realise that it's a double negative, so grammatically it's wrong. But I must admit, it ain't no good is a phrase that I have certainly used. Before we finish this lesson, I just want to spend a few minutes talking about this negative prefix, un. I'm sure you're all familiar with un, and you can simply add un to lots of different words to create a negative word form, like unhappy, unrealistic, unheard. Yeah. Now, if we put these words into a negative sentence, so if we negate the verb with not, so if we have not plus un, then we get a positive sentence. Two negatives equal a positive in mathematics. Yeah. But with in these three cases, that double negative sentence is actually acceptable. Yeah. And there are many different words, many different acceptable ways to do this. These are just three examples. So for example, if I wanted to tell you that I am not unhappy, I'm not unhappy. So not, negative, unhappy. Again, negative. So I'm not unhappy, yeah, gives you a positive. Yeah. Unrealistic. It's not unrealistic. It is not unrealistic. Not, negative, unrealistic, negative. Gets you a positive. It is not unheard of. It is not unheard of. Not and unheard gives you a positive. Yeah. Now those three sentences are very acceptable in English grammar. Okay. So there are some instances when we can use double negatives. Okay. So just bear that in mind. You will often hear double negatives, particularly with these three words, particularly with unhappy. You know, if perhaps someone you're speaking to doesn't look very happy, but they try and say to you, well, I'm not unhappy. I'm not happy, but I'm not unhappy. I'm somewhere in between. Yeah? Anyway, I just wanted to leave that with you. Something to ponder, okay, within your English language learnings.